Every single night, while you sleep peacefully in your bed, a battle more deadly than any war ever fought rages across the heavens. A battle where losing means the sun never rises again. This is the story of Ra's nightly war against Apophis, the serpent of pure chaos. A battle that has been happening for thousands of years. Yet most people have no idea their very existence depends on its outcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most terrifying and epic stories from ancient Egypt, where gods bleed, darkness threatens to swallow the world, and the fate of everything hangs by a thread every single night. If you want to discover more mind-blowing stories from ancient mythology, hit that subscribe button now. Picture this. The sun has just set over the Nile River. The last golden rays disappear behind the sand dunes. But this isn't just another peaceful evening. For Ra, the sun god, this is when his real work begins. As darkness falls across Egypt, Ra must begin his most dangerous journey yet again. A journey through the underworld that will determine whether tomorrow will ever come. Ra climbs aboard his solar bark, a magnificent boat that gleams like polished gold. His crew of loyal gods takes their positions. Thoth, the god of wisdom, stands ready with his scrolls and spells. Isis prepares her powerful magic. Set, despite his reputation as a troublemaker, grips his spear tightly. Even Set knows that tonight, like every night, they face something far worse than any earthly enemy. The boat begins its descent into Duat, the Egyptian underworld. Imagine sailing into a tunnel so dark that even divine light struggles to penetrate it. The walls around them pulse with strange energy. Ancient hieroglyphs glow faintly, telling stories of previous battles, previous victories, and previous close calls. But Ra isn't alone in these dark waters. Somewhere in the deepest, darkest corner of the underworld, something stirs, something that makes even gods tremble. Apophis, the serpent of chaos, begins to wake from his restless slumber. This isn't just any snake. Apophis is chaos itself given form. He's everything that opposes order, light, and life. His body stretches for miles through the underworld. His eyes burn with hatred for everything that exists. As Ra's boat moves deeper into the darkness, his light begins to dim. Not because he's getting weaker, but because the very presence of Apophis seems to drain light from existence. The other gods on the boat feel it too. A cold that goes beyond temperature. A darkness that seeps into their souls. Then they see it. Two massive eyes glowing in the distance like burning coals. Apophis has found them. The serpent's voice echoes through the underworld like thunder. But instead of words, it speaks in sounds that represent pure destruction. The very walls of the underworld shake with his rage. Ra stands at the front of his boat, his golden skin now glowing brighter as he prepares for battle. He knows what's at stake. If Apophis wins tonight, the sun will never rise again. The world above will freeze in eternal darkness. Every living thing will die. Order itself will collapse into chaos. The serpent attacks first. His massive coils come crashing down like falling mountains, trying to crush Ra's boat. But Set leaps forward, his spear cutting through the air. He strikes Apophis again and again, each blow creating sparks that light up the darkness like lightning. But the serpent is too powerful, too ancient, too filled with primordial hatred. Apophis opens his massive jaws, revealing teeth like obsidian daggers. From his throat comes something worse than fire, worse than poison. He breathes pure nothingness. Where his breath touches, things don't just die. They cease to have ever existed. The very memory of them vanishes. Ra raises his hands, and brilliant light pours from his being. But this isn't the gentle warmth of sunlight. This is light as a weapon, light sharp enough to cut through chaos itself. The two forces collide in the middle of the underworld, creating an explosion that would blind mortals and shake the foundations of reality. The battle rages for hours. Sometimes Ra seems to be winning, his light pushing back the serpent's darkness. Other times, Apophis gains ground, his coils wrapping around the solar bark, trying to drag it down into the deepest pits of the underworld. The other gods fight desperately, using every spell, every weapon, every trick they know. But they all understand the truth. This battle comes down to Ra and Ra alone. Just when it seems like Apophis might actually win, just when the darkness threatens to swallow everything, Ra does something incredible. He doesn't just fight the serpent. He transforms himself. His body becomes pure light, pure order, pure life force. He becomes everything that Apophis hates, everything that chaos cannot touch. The serpent writhes in agony as Ra's transformed essence burns through him like acid. Apophis lets out a scream that shatters the silence of the underworld. But even as he's defeated, even as he's forced to retreat into the deepest darkness, both Ra and Apophis know the truth. This isn't really an ending. This is just tonight's victory. Because Apophis cannot truly die. Chaos is eternal. As long as order exists, chaos will always exist to oppose it. As long as there's light, there will always be darkness trying to snuff it out. As long as the sun rises, there will always be something trying to prevent it from rising again. Ra's boat emerges from the underworld, just as the first hints of dawn appear on the horizon. He's wounded, exhausted, drained from the battle. But he's alive. More importantly, the world is alive. The sun will rise again. Order has survived another night. But even as Ra transforms back into his daytime form, even as his light spreads across Egypt, bringing warmth and life, he knows that in just a few hours, when darkness falls again, he'll have to face Apophis once more. The serpent will be waiting in the depths of the underworld, his hatred renewed, his hunger for destruction as strong as ever. This is the war that never ends. Every single night for thousands of years, this battle has raged in the darkness beneath our world. Ra fighting to ensure tomorrow comes. Apophis fighting to ensure it never does. Most people go to sleep never knowing that their very existence depends on the outcome of this cosmic struggle. The ancient Egyptians understood something we often forget today. that order and chaos, light and darkness, creation and destruction are locked in eternal conflict. That the good things in life, the simple things we take for granted like seeing the sun rise, don't just happen automatically. They have to be fought for every single day, every single night. So the next time you watch the sun rise, remember Ra's battle. Remember that somewhere in the darkness, the forces of chaos are always waiting, always planning, always ready to strike. And remember that there are always those willing to fight against that darkness, no matter how dangerous, no matter how difficult, no matter how endless the battle might be. Because some wars are worth fighting forever. Subscribe if you enjoyed diving into this epic tale of gods and monsters.